All right, guys, what's going on? Hope you're having a great day. I'm pretty excited. Got a lot going on. It's a beautiful day, so hope the same is happening with you guys. I'm going to talk about this trade. It's going to be a little bit different than some of the other videos in the sense I want to just talk about, the a little bit more in depth of a broader reasoning why we're making these trades and how to find them. And now, here's another cool trade I made. On Friday. This one was literally 5 minutes. It was a $2,300 profit, I think, net after commissions and everything like that. And, there's a lot that could be taken from this. And even if you go look past my other videos, you guys are seeing these trades. There's a common, I guess, I don't want to say pattern because you guys know how I am towards that, but there is, you could notice there is common trends amongst those. And I want you guys to be able to take, pick those out so you could start paper trading with it, practicing with it. And this is something I've even talked about in the free stock trading course, finding catalysts to stocks, and if you guys haven't checked that out, link in the bio. Why do I always say that? It's the description. You guys could check that out and see. But this was a trade on Facebook. There's a lot that could be taken out from it in the sense that, it was a good profit. I did sell pretty early. And you want to see why, but there's also the reason why it dropped and how you can interpret a situation like this. And it was a pretty cool week, I'd say, with Facebook in general. I had a lot of interesting plays on it, to say the least. There was actually a bunch of cool plays with Facebook. So I'm not going to go over all of them because I played a lot of Facebook this week. But I will go over this one trade. It was literally just in and out. And it's a different style because I used to actually not really, I'm messing around with that money. I don't want to say messing around, but maybe I should, just so you guys understand, you guys don't, options is risky. So be smart, paper trade with it, get a hang of it first. I've been doing this for, I think I'm on my 12th year now. So it's, looking at this trade, it was different than a lot of the trades in the sense it was a big amount. It was a lot of money invested. I don't even want to say it. I think it was $4,000 invested. And it was a bigger amount, and it was just going for more of a bigger amount, smaller flip versus a smaller percentage gain versus some of these smaller amounts and bigger gains. So you guys see, mixing up, there's various ways to make money on the market. I didn't like these, and I'll make a follow-up video even talking about some of the other factors with it. But this, you can make money very quickly and lose money very quickly. That's why, I really wanted to just get out of it as fast as possible. It hopped up on me. I saw an opportunity to get it at a better price, but I took it. This was the same day as that AMD play. If you guys go see that video I posted yesterday, I hesitated on that. I missed out on that. So I kind of just jumped into this one right away. But what happened here was the play. You could see it was buy 50 Facebook October 19th, 155 puts for 85 cents. And I sold them for $1.33. Here is the trade. I didn't even scale out. I didn't scale in. I just, like I said, very, very different than before. I was thinking about scaling in with like 25 and going from there, but I figured it was dropping and looking at the reasoning why and just seeing other people's reactions. So again, that was a profit of 2,300 bucks after everything. The commissions were pretty expensive. I have other plays. It says I made 4,400 because again, I even played Facebook on the upside that week. Got it on this call. It was really fun. It was amazing. But putting Facebook now, let's see what happened to the stock. And now this is what we want to talk about because, and again, the whole week, if we put it in a perspective, it was a great time, on some of these shorter term plays. And that's what I did. I free banned some shorter term ones. And again, maybe I might make another video on this to tell you guys, these weeklies are dangerous. I'm showing you guys these, I'm showing you many different things, but don't think this is indicative of everything that I'm doing. This does not, even this $100,000 is a very small amount to me. So this is, hence you could see kind of the plays I'm making. Well, this is not a safe investment. This is not, this is very, 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 very close. Not close. It is gambling. And so you just got to be careful with these weeklies. I'm just saying when the going's good, it's awesome. When they don't work out, that's how you blow up accounts. So I've just seen it happen before. I've blown up accounts in my life, and with these weekly options, it's just be careful, okay? See, and like I'm saying, the upside was great from Monday. If you got in that Monday morning up until here, even the next day, Tuesday, it was awesome. And then all of a sudden it had this big drop. It doesn't look like much, but it was pretty big. And, the opportunity to make money, it was on a Friday. And I could have played the daily on this one, and I didn't, even though you probably could have made money, or I could have played like the October 5th. So I spent what, 85 cents? What could I have gotten at that time for 85 cents on like the October 5th? Maybe, yeah, I probably could have got these ones, and they ended up the 162s instead of 155s, and they went up. Wow, $3 instead. So the gain on these would have been ridiculous, and that's also because think about it. Then this is to give you guys a little explanation between the shorter term and the longer terms. And even if you think you already know that, just pay attention. This is what I mean. Pay attention to this stuff. When this is what I do. I always look through the chains and like to pay attention to see what were the various options and how they move. That way you just get a feel for them. But seeing as, this one, I could have made a lot more of a gain, but it was a shorter time on a Friday versus, I went 2 weeks out and I got way further out for more money. And, you know, it wasn't bad. I got in right here. I guess these were at 62, but I got in at like 80. So I got in on this one. And these are the exact ones I played. I got in here, sold literally like right here off the first pop. It kind of came down. And in retrospect, I probably could have held a lot more, because I sold at a lower point and it never really dropped there till after. And then right afterwards, it hit 176, 175. I think the math at like 170, I could have sold it for like 8,800. So, I sold it for 66. I could have made another 2,200. That could have been like a 43, $4,500 trade. Same exact trade that I did if I just held it for, I think like 10 minutes longer. If I sold at 1250, yeah, about, about 10, 20 minutes longer, that would have profited that for me. But so that's interesting. And now getting into the play itself, and this is just one of them, but what happened was Facebook had a security breach. There was a news of Facebook security breach. It dropped 50 million, or some 50 million accounts were affected by it. And, it was a very, very large volume increase, when you look at it in perspective to the week. It was decent at the very least, but people really started selling off. Even looking at a 60-day chart on it, people really didn't take well to it. People might be assuming it was more than that. I don't know if it was that big of a deal. Kind of bounced. We didn't get too many details on it, but that was the reasoning why. And just the fact that Facebook, I got into it, the fact that Facebook really doesn't have security breaches. You don't really hear about it too much. They're already vulnerable with the elections and everything going on. It's a weird spot. The stock's at a lower point. It's just an interesting point. And then lastly, you have what's it called? Come on, Facebook, come back to me. Why did I get that? I'm totally blanking right now. I had something on the tip of my tongue, but in general, though, Facebook, it's in an interesting spot, and they don't really get these hacks at all coming from them. So it came out, people reacted, and people reacted very negatively, and it started selling out. Now, to say if this was more common or it happened to Facebook, I probably wouldn't do that. So, finding these plays, it's on news. That AMD play, Intel came out with something, it went up. You guys have seen, there's drug plays in general. Finding these is finding the logic and reasoning, what's driving them up. And that's where we're getting behind our trades. Throughout my videos, you're never seeing me say, hey, I got into it because of support level technical, but it's kind of more just the broader information. And as you're seeing things move, Tesla, Elon Musk investigation, and that's an interesting one. But all in all, you see it's finding these reasonings. I talk about that even in the free course. Earnings, earnings is one of those great examples where that's information, that's news coming out on the company. You can go find earnings, something's going to change. It is more riskier, and some of these plays are more solid when it's negative. But again, a lot of times, like I will say to give the counter example, these plays sometimes backfire a lot where the news comes out, like Facebook would have a drop like this, drop and then bounce right back up when people realize it's not big. And then, like I'm saying, you got to be able to interpret the scope, and that's where experience in the market is going to help. That's why I'm saying paper trade, because you'll see. So I remember when Tesla back in the day would get a safety recall, the stock would tumble. Now, depending on what it is, it wouldn't really do much. If depending on the accidents or certain numbers. So you have to see the stock and be able to know what it is relative to the context of the stock, and in general, what sort of news affects companies and how so. So that's what happened with Facebook, AMD. Go look at a lot of my other trades. That's really what you see going on. It's nothing really along, again, I don't really trade technicals. I don't at all. I look at volume from here and there, and I'm looking at, price action, but that's as far as it goes. But for the most part, it's never really technical. And what I'm looking for with options to get me, I'm trying to just get that option premium, get some delta on it, get in the money. And what I'm looking for is something to move the stock, and stocks that either move good or stuff that I know is confirmed going to move. And that's where the money's coming from. So you guys want to find your plays and find stocks to trade, find reasons why, find things affecting them, and be cautious, especially with options. One thing I've seen, there was some pharmaceuticals coming out right now, like biotechs. You guys could see the video. I have that's another one of the things I say, but be careful going out too far in front of it. There were some good ones like that IPO, like Amarin, but then there's ones like ADMP, which they still got approval but didn't go up much. But don't get too far ahead of it. And we'll make a video talking even with earnings, but that you might want to get far ahead of. But so just be cautious with that. But finding these stocks is going to start with finding the reason. That's why I say get information for news, keep a Bloomberg up, stay up to date with stuff, and be able to find these reasons. And also too, sometimes if there's a general global reason, overall markets are getting boosted by stuff, there's overall good sentiment, that's more of a broader generic one. Don't, I guess you could say that's an excuse kind of, but that's something you could play as well too, and catch the wave of something else. But that one's not as solid, so be careful with that. But I'll leave you guys with that. If you have questions you have for me to answer on this, I would love to. I think that's where you really get the best answers, is by just exploring and saying, well, a lot of you have different ideas of what this means, so I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on it. But yeah, I'll leave it there. You guys like the video, drop a like if it helped, subscribe. Yeah, love y'all. Peace.